We're live. So this is the first Substack video I've done. I'm here with Joan Hope Craig saying hello to everybody. Today we're going to be talking about, is it time for a change? How to support your change point circle, and sharing some personal stories and connections. So welcome, Joan. Joan and I have been friends for a number of years. She's an author, a yogi, so many things. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I'm so many things on the outside, right? I'm an author, I'm a yogi, I'm a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a wife. But what I'm coming to remember and learn is that inside, I'm just this soul expressing here on earth. So it's helpful to step back from all those roles. Thanks for having me. I wanted to just say thank you. And we were chatting just for a sec before we joined, and I see Laurel joined. I was just saying I'm an aunt. There's my niece. Um, that Rachel, I trust you so much. I trust our connection, and I value our connection because you're one of the few people in the world that I would jump on a live call with an audience on a new platform that we've never used before while Mercury is retrograde. So we critical.
Yeah, same. Well, Joan and I have both taken improv classes, so we know how to improvise.
One brick at a time. Yes, and
Uh-huh. And well, okay. So I guess we're modeling as well because neither of us have gone live on this platform before, even though we've done it other places. So it's like we each know, okay, I have a capability to do something, but I've never used this tech before. What if things go weird? Where are the buttons? What happens? What if people come in, spam? No one comes in? Who knows? Like all the variables. And yet, with a connection with a friend, it's easier to come on and be like, yeah, let's do this. Let's have a live. Let's have a talk. Oh, it says Laurel's saying, Joan, your audio's a little muffled.
all right. Let me see if I can.
Do you think it's because you're using headphones?
Maybe I was just trying to think if I can take it out without screwing anything up.
I
Let's
bet you can. And if you leave, you can always come back.
we're gonna try that. Here we go.
Yeah. If I lose you, we'll
Oh,
do trivia. Yeah,
I
that's
think I'll
better.
speak. Okay, so Laurel can let us know. Yeah, I'm trying to work out all the behind the scenes. In addition to being, I just want to be a yoga and teacher and author. But in addition to that, I'm trying to figure out all the tech of, adapting tech to the current needs of recordings and making videos. So let's,
Mm. Yes, she says it's better. I noticed an immediate difference.
good.
Hmm. Well, okay. So tell us a little bit, Joan. I feel like you're new to this tech, but spiritual technology, you play with that a lot.
Right. You get the connection. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and then we can talk about Change Point Circle?
Yeah, maybe I can interweave them a little bit. So
Okay.
I just actually celebrated an anniversary, a couple this month, and one of them was with my husband. We've been married
Okay.
16 years and together 21. And the other anniversary that I'm celebrating is 20 years ago, right about this time. It was either late July or early August. I went on my first meditation retreat. And I remember how uncomfortable it was. Even though it's beautiful and serene and peaceful, I had never worked with my mind. I had never realized how many thoughts were bouncing around in there. And so it was really helpful. I just went back to the same place. 20 years later, I've been going all this time, and I realized that I am a calmer person. I still have a lot of energy and bubbles in me, but I'm a calmer person inside, and I have more tools. I have more tools to handle the stress of life. And I think I'm going a little bit off the question you asked me, but to tie it into Change Point, I think we're all going through a year it's really probably a decade, right? It's a decade of change right now there's cosmic changes, astrological changes that are affecting the planet and especially the United States. So, when I wrote the book Change Point in 2020, we were going through COVID and it felt like this big upheaval, but now it feels like a different kind of upheaval. So to come back to my story, one of the things that I have become grateful for is how the teachings of yoga and meditation can be applied in regular life. And that's what Change Point is. It's you don't have to be a yogi to do it, but we're taking these timeless principles of surrender, of living a simple life, of nurturing our health, of being of service, and applying them when life feels hard.
Mm, that's good. Is there one of those that is your favorite or that you come to more
Mm.
than another?
That's a great question. So there's six
Mhm.
point, and the first one is surrender. The next one is center. So, getting clear on your inside, what's real and important to you. And then the third one is simplify. I'll say what they all are since we're educating people. The fourth one is sanctify, like purifying your life, purifying your mind. And then spark is about noticing things that are fun and joyful in your life. And then serve is the last one. But the one I come back to the most is simplify.
Mm.
Because I am just one of those people that my schedule gets really full. I have a lot of people in my life. I have a lot of projects. Like you, I'm multi-passionate. I know you write books and you do this and you teach school and you have kids. Um, and also I have a small house that seems to get just full of clutter. So I'm always
Mm.
simplifying. I'm always looking for how can I streamline and make, and so that's like my biggest challenge, but it's probably the step I enjoy the most because it's very tangible. Yeah,
Mhm.
you could take something off your calendar and feel good about it right away.
Mm. Oh, yes, I do feel good about that.
You've been writing about that actually, Rachel, which is what made me want to collaborate with you on this Change Point Circle, because at the same time I was starting to launch it in your blog, which I so love and recommend for everybody here on Substack. You were writing about the things you were letting go of. Like for example, one I remember is you said you hosted a party, but you left at the end because you had an appointment, and you're like, I'm letting go of worrying about that. They're having a good time. They don't need me.
Yeah.
So letting go of anything that drags us down.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, you can probably share if you see this too, but sometimes we look around and it's like, "Oh, what can I let go of?" And then you're thinking, "Okay, okay, these 3 things. This scarf, which I'm not actually letting go of, I just got it, but it's here, so that's why I'm holding it. And this pen, it's not a good color, and some other thing." And you're like, "That's all I can get rid of." And then you make that space, and then a week goes by or 3 weeks, and you're like, I could get rid of something else too." Like, it's almost it is a process, and after I left that party the one day, the family party, there's other areas of my life where I'm like, "Oh, what am I assuming?" and just acting via autopilot that maybe doesn't serve me anymore. Um, that and we all get this way. I mean, you talked about starting over, this decade of change. It's like, what if every time you hit a new decade, you said, "I'm going to reflect, are the things I'm doing, the relationships, the attitudes, all the things, the habits, are they supporting me? Or is that last decade's me, but it's not serving now in the future decade?" Yeah. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? I'm sure you have something to say.
I think you said it really well, just because there's the outer letting go, which is the superficial things that are helpful, right? Like decluttering the physical stuff.
Mhm.
But then underneath, you're like, wait a minute, I've also got this belief. It's harder to let it go, right? But I've got this belief that I have to be a certain way or stay in a relationship even with someone, right? That's a
Mhm.
boundary. Simplifying is about boundaries too. Um, and I think that as we grow up, both in years and just maturity and deepening our awareness of our spiritual self, we realize how much of the things that I realize how much of the things I used to think were important really aren't.
Mhm.
One thing I'm
Yeah.
seeing would speak to the broader situation, um, in the United States, at least, is there's a lot of people getting laid off from their jobs. And it's scary, right? Because you have to,
Mhm.
we live in this material world. We have to have money to pay for things. But I've had so many colleagues say, well, they don't know what else they could do besides what
Mhm.
they've done, whereas maybe letting go of that belief that, hey, I can pivot, I can learn new skills, I can maybe try something I haven't done before or that I've always wanted to do.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and it makes me think too, I one of my friends, I was talking to her last week. She knows about all these new jobs that didn't exist 5 years ago because of new technology, new things, changes in various industries. And so it's like any one of us is probably eligible for 3 jobs we never even knew about a decade ago.
Yes, and I've been seeing a ton for you, Rachel, by the way. So, next summer, if you're like, I don't know about teaching school anymore, there are a ton of jobs right now for educators.
Yeah,
'Cause there's a lot of non-traditional ways to learn now too. So
that's true. That's true.
in the back of your
Well,
mind.
okay. Oh, go ahead.
No, just say file that away.
Yes, thank you. So, one of the things that I love that you're doing, and sometimes I do programs as well, is it's really easy when you're in school to go through change and motivate yourself because there's some external person motivating you and a whole group that you're doing it. But it's like any one of us knows, oh, just because you get to a new year or a new age or a new season, even if you want to make a change, it doesn't always mean that making it is easy or um not even that it's not just easy, but like how do you stick with it, even a desire doesn't always mean a full commitment or a full follow through. And so I like that you've created a group experience to go through a journey of this change point together because then people have others that they're going through with it and then you're guiding them through this.
Right, right. Yeah, thank you. I think so as well, and that's why I want to do it. Also, for myself, I'm in a change point this year, and for others because I think what's helpful to me to change point. If I had to rewrite the subtitle on the book,
Oh
right
yeah.
now it says, "Simplify your life, find inner peace, and do what matters." And I still stand by that. Those are good, but I think I would say, um, keep learning and growing even when life feels hard. Because
Mhm.
what's different about change point than, like, say, "Hey, I'm gonna set a new goal to go to the gym 3 times a week." That's just a positive goal, and it's wonderful, and you probably would still do the change point steps, but it's not as hard as when life feels hard because of the broader situation, global situation, or maybe life feels hard because you didn't want this change. Maybe
Right.
you got off and you have to find a new job, or maybe, there's a breakup that you
Right.
didn't or look for or whatever. There's like a lot of kind of changes. And the other piece of it is that we don't know what the end is. Like if you set the
Yes.
goal of the gym 3 times a week, you kind of know what the end goal looks like. Might not know exactly what you're going to do at the gym, but you know what I'm talking
Uh-huh.
about. Is for me right now in my personal change point, I was one of those people that got laid off this year. I don't know exactly what the end is.
Mhm.
And so it's the steps of change point are I say they're designed, and my editor kept saying, "You have to own this like you made it up." But actually it really did feel like they just were delivered to me by a divine download. Like
Yeah.
they came to me, the steps. Um is that it supports someone who doesn't know where they're going.
Mhm.
And I'm not promising that by the end of reading the book or 7 weeks, you will know where you're going, but you'll have some more peace, hopefully
Yes.
more calm and more tools, and along the way, you will kind of, have those opportunities to say, wait a minute, well, I don't know what I'm going to do for a job next year, or I don't know where I'm going to,
Mhm.
what my relationship's going to look like, but I can go to the gym or I can do yoga or drink more water.
Yes. Well,
Kind of take
and
control.
yes, and another thing I'm thinking, so I got laid off too this spring, and I love that you bring up, I guess we're in the laid off club. Um, Technically I was not laid off. My position was eliminated and then I moved to another school. But I had to interview, and I was
Yeah.
just thinking of it the other day. Last summer when I was interviewing for teaching jobs, I I felt called to go back to the classroom, but I also didn't feel like I needed it. And so I was showing up for the steps thinking if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, whatever. And then it worked out great. But then but it's one of those, but once I had a job and got laid off and had to look for another, I started build like it all of a sudden it was all this pressure again because I felt like I lost something. Now I have to go earn it back. I have to go prove myself again. I feel like I'm a confident person, and showing up in interviews still makes me sweat profusely and get super nervous. And I'm always like, "Oh, am I coming off strong enough? Well, who knows? Maybe I'm coming on too strong." Um, but I really love how you're talking about the difference of we don't know what the end point is. And I think there's comfort and wisdom and power with being with others who are also navigating that. Like I keep on coming back to this community part because I think about how You know, well, one of the bonuses I'm gonna give is people can do, a communication with me via there's an app called Telegram where essentially we're leaving each other voice notes so we can have a little bit of communication, or I can record a video. So it's like somebody who's maybe getting ready for an interview or making a big change or setting a strong boundary in a relationship, they can connect with me and I have a real lived experience of that this year, or we were on a family vacation and I was the point person to talk to the different family members. How are we going to work these family dynamics of communication, co-parenting essentially? Like all of these things which people can get very emotional about, and people have their own expectations and mindset and agenda, and we were all trying to have everyone in the same house be on the same page. And so and it was one of those, "Ooh, I'm gonna set some boundaries and hope, or expectations too, and hope it's gonna go well, but I don't really know how this conversation's gonna go." So knowing there's someone who I feel like neither of us comes at it from an elevated point of view of, "I have all the wisdom." I mean, I'd like to. Yeah. So that's a nice thing.
Well, and I wanna just speak to maybe let I speak to the community piece of Change Point, and let's talk more about the bonus that you're offering people who sign up through your link, which will provide,
Mhm.
um, so in the community piece of Change Point is that so it's 7 weeks. You have a week off in the middle though. And so it's 7 weeks, do have a weekly call, but that to me, that's less important than just knowing these other people are on the journey. So we will have a group chat going, and it's funny energetically, when I know I went in one of your workshops, Rachel, and you said, "Okay, think of 3 people who've got your back on this goal we're setting," or whatever. And I've had you on my list, and so even though we haven't talked about it, I know you've got my back. And so I think that there's like practical logistical, like, "Hey, I'm checking in with this group once or twice a week
Mhm.
on the steps of the change and what I'm doing." But even when we're not verbally checking in, like, we're energetically checked in and connected
Yes.
because we have set a shared intention. So, just to let people know, like, what the program is, we go through one of the steps every week. I'm doing some little small yoga videos, just like, short to like help you feel the step in your body. And then, We'll have support along the way. But I wanted to talk about you a little bit, Rachel, and I guess
Okay.
your people will know about this, but we have other people joining too who don't. So, you're such an intuitive, and we've had a few sessions where you helped me, and I wanted to just comment that y- I think I have a very practical approach, and I think your approach is also practical, but it also goes very deep, and that you have a deep sense of knowing, what can help people, and saying it in a way
Mm.
that helps them. You've helped me so many times in transitions. So, talk more about like what that recorded video would be, or what
Mhm.
that Telegram support would be, like what kind of questions people could ask you.
Yeah. Yeah, great question. And thank you for saying such kind, thoughtful things.
True, true.
So, well, here's how I pictured it. You're going through change point. Things seem a little bit uncomfortable, but pretty much hunky dory. And then you're like, oh, now this is the thing that's going to make me quit. Or like, this is the evidence. None of this is working. And I should have just, whatever, given up or been satisfied with what was. Like, I feel like I can be an extra support when it's a change point within the change point, or like a low point, or a point where you're like, I really need to make a decision here. Like you've made this overall decision, or it feels like it was made for you. And then you're navigating some of the nuances of it. Um, and it can be various types of questions. So people sometimes will come to me to tune in about, is this company who's offered me a job a good fit? Like, here are the things that I like. You've got a list maybe. And then here are the things that concern me. And with most, I'm trying to think of, I want to be respectful of privacy of things. But so I have applied for jobs or programs to be a part of programs, let's say. And when I tuned into my intuition, even though on the surface things look fine, my intuition said red flag or no, or it showed me these are the kinds of conflicts you're going to have. It's not going to be what you want. And same with I've had many clients come to me, "Oh, I'm thinking about working with this coach. I'm thinking about joining this program. I'm thinking about selling my house and moving and being certified in hypnotherapy," let's just say. And it's very easy for me to see if that's a strong yes, a strong no, or if I'm like, here are the benefits and here are the downsides to add more clarity to that. Um, and the benefit of that is time and time again, people tell me that feels true. It's adding another layer of clarity. And so I tune in. A lot of the information I get is from feeling in my body. So I will feel how it feels. And so if you're coming to me and you're saying, I've got this great job offer, I could say, sure, financially it feels solid, but in terms of anxiety or how they treat you, it doesn't feel good. Well, that's really great information because they're not necessarily going to tell you at the interview, hey, you'll get paid great, but the workplace culture is going to make you wish you worked anywhere but here.
Right, 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 and you can sense those things, and so you're really gifted at that, and so, yeah, I
Mhm.
think great combo. So I would say for someone who's at a point of uncertainty, which we call that change point, a turning point, doesn't know which path to take, or even if even can't even see any paths, like, we're not sure.
Mhm.
I think we'd be a great team to support them.
Yes. And I want to add something here too. So, your book it's backed with research-based principles for some of this. And I love how it's a blend of practical and spiritual, practical and intuitive, and so let's say somebody comes to me with a question and I give them a video and they're like, "Hey, that was good information, but I prefer the practical stuff." That's okay. We're also, like you mentioned, these are tools. And some tools we use more than others. I love that people get to explore different tools because you might see one that you come to more often, but it's a nice sampling so that people can see, do I engage with this more richly, or it was a nice to see, but that's not for me. Like, I think it's a really great benefit.
Yeah, I thought I might just see if I can show
Ooh,
that.
oh, yeah.
Is the writing the right way for you? Not really.
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
so this is actually the change point circle. And
That's
so
so pretty.
the reason it's a circle instead of a straight line is that, it's not like I just say, okay, I'm going to surrender today and tomorrow I'm going to,
Mhm.
they're all happening all at once. And I find that
Yeah.
thing throughout my whole life, like even when I don't have like a big obvious change, like getting laid off from my job, like even just anytime I face like a bump, like, I would say when I face, like, a speed bump, I draw the circle in my journal, and I write, "Okay, what do I need to surrender? And what do I," or that emotional, spiritual side of letting go. What do I need to actually let go of? Simplify. How can I be taking better care of my health? Like, you know, often for me, it's like, okay, too much social media, right? That's one
Mm.
I've hit up against many times. I'm like, okay, delete, 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 and then so I think we can bounce around and we don't have to do them in any order. And
I like
talk-
that.
just talk really briefly, and then I know we'll probably wrap up here in a minute. But the center
Okay.
of the circle, that one I just showed you had soul peace, because that was my example. But in the process, whether you just read the book or join our group program, each person identifies their own center. So it might be a
Mm.
or a word or for some people it's peace or love or I've had people pick all kinds of interesting things to balance, to put in the center. There's no bad thing to put in there, right? You put in the center of your circle what you want to be in the center of your life. And it doesn't mean you've got that perfect right now. Um, but it's like your intention, right? And so then
Mhm.
on the circle is like the little steps, or how do I get closer to my center? Yeah.
That's beautiful. I really like that. And so I want to highlight what you just said because it makes me think. And again, we're not doing change just for a change sake. We're having a change point that's leading you back to what is most important for you. Because,
Yes.
as we've said, jobs come and go. Sometimes
Yes.
relationships come and go. And sometimes we don't get much say in that. But we do get say in what we choose is at the center of our circle, like what we value, what we want to have happen. And I think it's cool. It's reminding us of the agency that we have of you can take actions and you can keep having this circle that's true for you that makes your life feel good.
Yes. Thank you. Amen. Yeah. That's it. I guess we I wish we'd said that first, but it's okay. We got there. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening all the way through for those that heard it. Yeah, exactly that. And ultimately I think that's our lesson here on planet Earth at Earth School, right? Is that everything we experience in this physical life is going to end. Every single
Mhm.
the good, the bad, the stuff we like, the stuff we don't, the people we love deeply, it ends because it's physical, it's here. And so what doesn't end? That's
Mhm.
of the circle, right? That eternal um from a yoga perspective, the eternal self is the self that is unchanging.
Mm. Powerful.
Yeah. Namaste. The eternal self in me bows to the eternal self in you.
Namaste.
Yeah. Is there anything else we need to tell the group so they know about it?
Well, I just started thinking, are you going to offer meditation? I guess some of the yoga videos will have meditation with it.
So what I'm planning to do is every week, so I'll have a 50-minute call that can just check in and review the steps of the week and strategies. We go over the tools basically. But in that, I'm going to do a little short, 5-minute, 5-10 minute meditation. So I'll pull that out from the recording. So people, if they just want to repeat it, and then they'll have the little short yoga practice as well. But it's not designed to like make you feel like you have a lot of homework because
Mm,
everyone's right. It's more like they're there if you want to do them. and I like making that kind of stuff, so it's fun. But yeah,
Yeah,
and I think just yeah, so we'll have those as options.
that's great.
Yeah. And maybe we'll share, if we can figure out how after this, maybe we can share in the chat the link
Yes.
that this
Yes.
so
That's
if
my goal. I'm assuming it's
they
easy to do that.
we'll figure it out. And then it starts August 11th, so, like, 1.5 weeks. And
Mhm.
I would just say if anybody has any questions, reach out to either of us, and I'll be on retreat next week, so I might not answer right away. I'll be hopefully being quiet.
Yeah. That'll be lovely. Well, thank you so much, Joan. You do so much to support people in in the times of unknown. So I think that's really a great gift and service that you offer.
And you too, which is why I wanted to collaborate, and thank you. And hey, what a great way for us to connect.
Mhm. Yes.
Made us fit in a call.
Yes, so
Our
fun.
listener. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.